Hi, and welcome to Trust and Obey with Chuck Frank. This is a Friday afternoon Chuck It entitled Cabinet Confirmation Smearings. Now, I don't know what your experience has been this week, but I've been trying to watch as much of this as I can intermittently. And you know what? Watching wonderful people prepared in a fantastic manner to be thrown into the arena with a bunch of snakes and vipers. It's not a good look. It's not a good look for the United States of America. So these cabinet confirmation hearings are at the least useless, and at the best the most crude and vile political theater where Republican fecklessness and rhino apathy abound, and Democrat depravity and shrill, baseless slander from anonymous sources is allowed to burn like a California wildfire, with a 7-minute limit being the only waterless hydrant available for mercy. This disgusting Fellini-esque carnival of mutants is like falling in love with a beautiful young woman from Manhattan and going to meet her leftist parents for the first time. You come in, sit down, and immediately the most crass grilling begins. Where did you go to college? Are you circumcised? What is your parents' net worth and where do they live? Who did you vote for? Where do you work? What's your title? How much do you make? How many women have you slept with? How many men? You have siblings? Are any of them trans? Why not? Do you support Ukraine? Are you a drinker? How many drinks per week? How big a ring can you afford? Like this example and the hearings this week, if the intent was to get to know a person and have some rational sense of who they are, both examples are an abject failure. They are simply interrogations by people with a preconceived notion and agenda. Our leaders have strayed so far from the processes of the founders that the original intent of the exercise is completely lost due to an utter lack of civility, common courtesy, and professional decorum. This insatiable desire for predetermined outcomes has defiled our legal system, research disciplines, journalism, historical capture of information, and nearly all processes required in the give and take of a constitutional republic. A good coat of fire may be the only solution. And you know what the shame is? All of this is historically redundant. So I want to make that point to you by reading Matthew chapter 26, verses 57 through 68. This is Jesus faces the Sanhedrin. And those who had laid hold of Jesus led him away to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were assembled. But Peter followed him at a distance to the high priest's courtyard, and he went in and he sat with the servants to see the end. Now, the chief priests, the elders, and all the council sought false testimony against Jesus to put him to death, but found none. Even though many false witnesses came forward, they found none. That means none of the lies were good enough, like these anonymous witnesses and the nonsense that got slung against all these people. But at last, two false witnesses came forward and said, "This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of God and to build it in 3 days." And the high priest arose and said to him, Do you answer nothing? What is it these men testify against you? But Jesus kept silent. And the high priest answered and said to him, I put you under oath by the living God. Tell us if you are the Christ, the Son of God. Jesus said to him, It is as you said. Nevertheless, I say to you, hereafter you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the power and coming on the clouds of heaven. Then the high priest tore his clothes, saying, He has spoken blasphemy. What further need do we have of witnesses? Look, now you have heard his blasphemy. What do you think? And they answered and said, He is deserving of death. Then they spat in his face and beat him, and others struck him with the palms of their hands, saying, Prophesy to us, Christ. Who is the one who struck you? So this awful business that we're watching has its roots thousands of years ago. The false witnesses, the anonymous sources, all of it. And what the founders envisioned and what they set up and what we have fallen so far away from is that these processes and the changing of the guard, the handing over of power, was to be a reflection of the new Jerusalem, the shining city on a hill. And what we're seeing this week and what we've seen for the last 4 years is the old Jerusalem. And we need to burn it down. You can do it. We can do it. And by God's grace, we will do it. God bless you.